You're going to see a lot of reload animations in Call of Duty. It's a game where you're going to have to reload your gun a whole lot because of the very nature of the game itself. But sometimes developers give you a reload animation that's so freaking cool, you don't mind having to watch it over and over again throughout the course of a multiplayer match. What is up, everybody? Non-AI Jimmy here today. Today we're going to be taking an updated look at the 20 best reload animations in COD history. Now, you let me know in the comments what you think is the best in the franchise. Drop a like, and we're going to get going with a very obvious pick today. At number 20, the P90 in COD 4. Now, it's appeared several times throughout COD history, but whenever it showed up in the classic Modern Warfare trilogy, it was simply recycling the COD 4's reload animation. And you know what? I'm okay with that. The P90 has a very unique design with top-fed magazine. It needed a cool animation to bring it home. COD 4 P90, super smooth, interesting animation, fit perfectly with the vibe of the game, and clearly developers liked it because they copy-pasted it to Modern Warfare 2 and Modern Warfare 3. Take a watch. Moving right along to number 19, and thank you everybody who participates with me in the comment section every single video of every single day on this really old channel. I read every single comment on every single video, and I love you guys. Thank you for all the support. Drop a like, make sure you're subscribed, maybe tell your friends to subscribe. We're trying somehow to get to 3 million subscribers in 2026. Okay, number 19, the HVK 30 in Black Ops 3. Now, I always thought the HVK was underrated back in the Black Ops 3 days. It's not that it was powerful, but it was versatile. I mean, it had a lot going for it. Low recoil, relatively high fire rate, and that reload animation. Pretty memorable with your soldier hitting the release and letting the magazine drop to the floor before smoothly sliding a new one into place, getting right back in the fight. A couple other COD guns from later in the franchise would end up recycling this animation, so you guys let me know. You can figure out which ones I'm actually talking about. I'm going to give you a hint. At least one of them was Black Ops 4. Here, watch. At number 18, the M4 Carbine in COD 4. Now, when it comes to classic reload animations, this is one of the most obvious examples. The M4 Carbine's reload animation was recycled 50 times. I'm not officially, but I'm exaggerating. But yeah, throughout the classic era of Call of Duty, but you couldn't be mad. It was smooth. There's nothing really special about it, and it's definitely not flashy, but it was smooth. It was perfect. Just watch and agree with me, please. At number 17, FAL in Modern Warfare 2 2009. It's one of the, it was one of the most ridiculous semi-auto rifles in COD history, even if it wasn't quite as ridiculous as the Black Ops 2 version that would come a few later and get banned. Classic Modern Warfare 2 FAL. It introduced us to the mag flick reload that we would end up seeing in so many other Call of Duty games throughout the years. I mean, this reload animation was recycled for the Black Ops 2 FAL and a few years later after Modern Warfare 2, but it was also recycled for the KM44 in Black Ops 3, as well as several other assault rifles that I'm forgetting right now. Watch this piece of COD history. See if you can think of all the other guns that have this exact same mag flick reload animation. At number 16, every time I talk about this gun, somebody's in the comments section saying, "Yes, Jimmy, thanks for showing the CM901 some love." Modern Warfare 3 2011. There's been a lot of reload animations that involve the character flicking the magazine out of the gun towards the bottom center of the screen, and that trend all started right here with the CM. It's one of the most underrated guns in classic Modern Warfare 3, but it was also a ton of fun to use, and the reload animation was cool enough to be recycled for the Remington R5 and COD Ghost a few years later. At number 15, the M27 in Black Ops 2. Now, the CM901 walked, so the M27 could full-on sprint. More or less recycles the CM's reload animation, but it also greatly smoothed things out and made it a lot more satisfying to watch, especially if you were doing the dry reload and you got to watch your character pull the slide back to make sure that there was one in the chamber. Super smooth animation, super smooth gun. One of the most iconic in COD history. Just sit back, watch it, and appreciate it. At number 14, the Man-O-War in Black Ops 3. Now, the animation was basically just the natural progression of the M27's animation. You see how we're chaining these together? Instead of flicking the mag out towards the middle of the screen, The Man of War reload has your character flicking the magazine straight down and presumably slamming the empty mag into the ground at terminal velocity. I'm not judging. I think it's pretty awesome. This was one of my favorite guns in Black Ops 3. I'm still bitter about the nerf, so I'm not trying to talk crap here. It was one of the coolest animations in the entire game. At number 13, the AN-94 in Black Ops 2. If the AN-94 is at number 13 on this list, it's going to get wild. Now, this is one of the most iconic weapons in Black Ops history. We know, we've talked about it 100 times. One of the best examples of a late unlock actually worth the grind. Featured an amazing time to kill, super smooth handling, and all topped off with a smooth as butter reload animation. You turn the gun on its side, you bop out the old magazine. I said bop, with a new one before getting back into the action. Other versions of the AN haven't been anywhere near as good or as cool as this one. It's honestly kind of a shame. I mean, why is Call of Duty struggling to be cool like it was back in 2012? At number 12, we don't talk about this gun at all, ever. The Cordite, Black Ops 4. It's basically what would happen if you took the PDW-50 from Black Ops 2 and you fed it a bunch of juice, steroids. Before you say anything in the comments, I'm talking about the post-nerf PDW. The PDW started out as one of the best guns in COD history, but the Treyarch decided to nerf it into the ground. You never saw it again online. But the Cordite in Black Ops 4 had a similar design to it. The weird top-fed magazine that your character would push out the side of the gun instead of feeding the ammo into the bottom like most COD guns and most real-world guns, come to think of it. And even though the Cordite gives me happy memories of the pre-nerf PDW, I admit it, Cordite had a way cooler reload animation. Something pretty cool about the way your soldier flicks the magazine out of the side of the gun and just lets it plop onto the floor. Plop, bop, all kinds of cool words today. At number 11, the Haymaker 12 in Black Ops 3. Now, this wasn't a very good shotgun, all things considered, but it did have a really good reload animation, and that's all that matters for today's video. Full auto shotgun, pretty lame damage, pretty below average time to kill. Yeah, it's not anything special about it, but every time you hit the reload button, yeah, you celebrated. You pull out a new drum magazine, smack the old one out of the way with it. It was objectively awesome. Heck, that was almost cool enough to use the gun, even though it sucked. Now we arrive at the top 10. The BRM in Black Ops 3. Now this is probably one of the most involved reload animations in COD history, which you have to give some credit to Treyarch for, because this gun is totally made up. It's fake. It's fiction. The BRM light machine gun was a starting weapon in its category. Had a pretty low fire rate, but a huge firing sound and very intimidating damage stats. And every time you hit the reload button, you would be treated to the awesome animation. The gun slides out a mechanized magazine holder, I guess. Watch the bolts unscrew themselves and watching everything put it back into place once the new magazine was put in. It's an awesome animation. Even though it took 10 years to complete, I didn't get tired of watching it. Treyarch clearly had some fun designing all the futuristic guns in this game. At number 9, the MSMC in Black Ops 2. It's one of the most unique weapons in Black Ops 2, at least in terms of design. Neat little SMG. Magazine slid into the handle of the gun, and while it wasn't very easy to control, it was strong. It was versatile if you could get the hang of the recoil pattern, which every COD pro did. Obviously, with a gun with this unique of a design, there's going to be a really memorable reload animation to go with it. It wasn't super flashy or special, but it was smooth and pretty hard to look away from whenever you were caught in it. Fan favorite weapon, and it had an appropriately awesome reload animation, even if it wasn't as crazy or action movie-esque as some of the others on today's list. At number 8, the AK-47 in COD 4. Yet another example of a reload animation that it's not special, it's just smooth. It was one of the best guns in the game, one of my favorite assault rifles in COD history, and I never minded having to reload it because there was something sleek and cool about the way your character popped up the gun, threw away the empty mag, and slapped a new one into place. I think the COD 4 AK reload animation was reused tons of times throughout the franchise for both the AK and the AK-74U, and it was even used for some other non-AK weapons because it was that smooth. Even if you never played COD 4, raise your hand if you didn't. You're going to watch this animation and you're going to instantly recognize it from other weapons that recycled it. At number 7, the NV4 Dexterity in Infinite Warfare. We already know the MV4 was one of the most spammed guns in COD history. I hated seeing it online. You hated seeing it, but I also remember how cool the Dexterity reload animation was. So in case you didn't play Infinite Warfare, I understand. Dexterity was the equivalent of sleight of hand in the game, meaning it was the perk that gave you a universal boost to your reload speeds, but instead of just speeding up the default animation like classic sleight of hand did, Dexterity would actually give you this unique, faster animation for each of the guns. And the MV4's animation was cool. Instead of just being a standard M4 style reload animation like it was by default, this reload was more like a stylish version of the classic M27 or CM901 all put together. Watch this. At number 6, the GPMG in Call of Duty World War II. Awesome name, right? I didn't like this game. Matter of fact, I kind of hated this game. I thought it was boring, basic, and not very interesting, but I'll give credit where it's due. The GPMG had some cool animations, and even though the gun itself absolutely sucked until it was buffed, the reload animation stuck. You'd open up the magazine holder, make a little deposit into it instead of replacing the whole thing. I'm not even going to pretend like I know how the heck that actually works in terms of physics, but it was cool. Like I said earlier, that's all that matters for today's list. The game sucked and the gun sucked, but the animation was cool. Now we arrive at the top 5. The MP5 in Modern Warfare 2019, the last great modern Call of Duty game. The MP5 was one of the most annoying guns to deal with online in Modern Warfare 2019 simply because it was completely overpowered and also the sweaty SMG of choice, which meant it was everywhere. But honestly, it was really satisfying to use. I mean, that's part of the reason why you never put it down, right? Not only felt smooth during gunfights, but it also had one of the coolest, most detailed reload animations in COD history. Now, Infinity Ward may have made one of the worst COD games of all time back in 2019, but I'm going to give them credit for the amount of detail that went into the weapon animations. At number 4, the Venom X in Infinite Warfare. Now, Infinity Ward has gotten a lot of mileage out of this freak of nature. First appeared as a secret weapon in Ghost, but then it came back as a DLC launcher in Infinite Warfare, which gave you a much better opportunity to appreciate the amount of work that went into designing the alien goo gun. Every time you have to reload it, your character whips out an alien venom sac out of their butt and squeezes it into the back of the gun. I'm not going to ask any questions on how they figured out how to do that. Just watch. Think to yourself, man, there was a time when this was the craziest thing in Call of Duty. At number 3, one of my favorites, the Argus in Black Ops 3, the infamous tuna can magazine gets put on full display right here, and I wouldn't have it any other way. The Argus reload animation is cool, and I'll admit that a lot of the coolness is simply thanks to the unique design of the gun itself. I mean, what other guns in COD history let you shoot a tuna can out the side of the weapon every time you hit the reload button? With that being said, it's definitely one of the most memorable reload animations in the franchise, partially because the tuna can, I mean, you spit it out the side. It's also partially thanks to the lever action design of the weapon that lets you watch a soldier cock it and get ready for a fight. And when you're doing a dry reload, you also get to watch them spin the gun around their arm like they're Terminator. It was an awesome weapon. Definitely deserved to be toward the top. At number 2 today, the KRM-262 Black Ops 3. Can you tell I like the reload animations of Black Ops 3? I mean, it's not my fault. It's not. Animations were good. Starting shotgun in the game. Perfect example of how to make something simple into something awesome. Looks like a simple buckshot pump action shotgun, but once you hit the R button, you get to watch the gun open itself up like something out of the year 3000. And then once all the shells are loaded in, your soldier will close it all up and give it a nice big cock. You guys know how much COD play is like. Okay, watch. And at number 1 today, the Honey Badger and COD Ghost. You probably knew it was going to be here. It has one of the most unique reload animations in COD history. And even if you hated the game, you probably remember this reload animation and think about it from time to time. Now, there have been a lot of reload animations in COD where the magazines get flicked out towards the middle or to the left of the screen. But the Honey Badger was the first time we got a reload animation that flicked the mag out to the right of the screen and then totally changed things. It sounds like a simple tweak, but it was cool. It helped add character to a game that a lot of people found boring and bland. So if you ask me, I think this is the best reload animation in COD history. I'll leave you with that so you can appreciate it, and I'll see you guys soon.